in this area, we are hitting one of the conversation points. As you can see, it's a nice little computer terminal. There is no cinematic because all it is a computer terminal, and it doesn't talk to us. Oakley, though, wants to know why the computer's doing what it's doing, and not something else, apparently. You can see him pacing back and forth.
He's impatient to get back to the killing, and as you can see, his selection shows he's ready to kill some more.
Yep, he wants to destroy the beacon, making sure the explorers there will die, but, keeping our path ahead clear. But in traditional light side fashion, we all decided to save the people there on the ground.
For the children.
For the children.
One thing I gotta say about BioWare is they've done a fabulous job with the scenery in these flashpoints. It looks so polished and lush. They've done a remarkable job with in everything that they've done with the animation, with the graphics. I was really impressed and just amazed that this was actually a beta.
And what's even more impressive is anti-aliasing in this beta is currently off. You can force it on. I didn't, though, just to make sure that I wouldn't have any issues with forcing it on. Other people did force it on and didn't have any issues, so I'm not too worried about that. But as you can see, it's just going to look even more amazing once anti-aliasing is on, so think about how well it is now, and it's going to be even better. It's just nice to see a game come out that has the graphics, has the storyline, has excellent cinematics, and it's just fun to play. As you can see, though, that was a snarl root. That is from Bioanalysis. And what that does is in your mission items under your inventory, if you get it, it places a small guy in there you can summon, and it'll basically act like my battle droid's acting right now, and just taking out guys along with you.
As you can see, one of the caves up there kind of looks a little green. Those are one of the caves I was talking about. You'll find the extra archaeology node inside one of those caves.
In fact, I think it might be that one.
It is that one.
Okay. We don't go in that one, unfortunately, in this one. I think we skipped that, but we do go into another. I don't think there's anything in that one, however, unfortunately.
And I think we decided to just press through and, bypass some of the trash over there to make this a little bit faster for you guys watching at home. It's a nice buff if you're running it for the first time or your group needs a little extra health, but for us, we were kind of mowing through it because as you can see, I'm level 27, Jin and Oakley are 25, and Kazor is 23. This instance is suited for a level 23 group, so you don't have to worry. If you're level 23, you will be able to do this with 4 people at level 23. It's not going to be an issue.
And as you can see, for those who play Smugglers, there's a lot of natural cover, like Oakley's taking now.
Yeah, actually, I noticed with the cover mechanic, for as much as it might be convenient to just drop your portable cover, a lot of times, like the rock was just right there in front, you can get into cover much faster because if once you can see that you can roll into cover, that roll is incredibly fast. So a lot of times you can just get in the sweet spot and just start killing.
Speaking of killing, we're going to do some more. And in this build of the beta, they reduced the mortar launch to only 3 mortars, so it did take a little bit of damage away. What's really nice, though, about mortar launch is getting those clusters of enemies, just launching and getting aggro right off the bat, and them being right into there all, so you don't have to do too much.
Now, does the mortar have a aggro component attached to it, or is it just damage?
Well, in the MMOs, and this is especially for new people that are watching this video, as a tank, when you do damage, you generate aggro or threat. There is currently no mechanic in-game to measure threat, but basically if everything's attacking you, you have aggro on it. So a good tank, like I just did, likes to cycle through targets and make sure that they're going to be the highest on the table no matter what.
Alright.
So, it's just nice damage there, and it all creates threat for you, and it'll create threat for DPS when they damage. Just with the Trooper, I'm using an ability called Ion Cells for my ammo cell, and that gives me 60% more threat, which means I can shoot something for the same amount of damage as what Oakley shoots for, but I'll still have the higher threat, and it'll still attack me, which, as a tank, is what you want.
And as the typical Trooper, I mean, the answer to everything is high explosives, but I have to ask, it seems like you're doing some kind of AoE explosion there. What is that?
Explosive Surge. It is one of my most fun abilities at this level. It's a nice little bubble around me that just explodes. It only costs 2 ammo cells and generates a high amount of damage for its ability. I think it's like in the 300 range, 250, 300.
And I'm assuming that each one of your ticks is a single ammo cell on your resource bar?
Correct, if you see that. So they regenerate relatively fast. After you get past the halfway point, they don't regenerate as fast when you're decreasing. But they do come back up even from 0 pretty quickly. So usually with tanks, you want to go all out on your aggro until you have a firm grasp of the aggro. And on bosses, then you can let your ticks regenerate and stay more towards your middle to filled so that you can use your abilities to pick up adds. You'll see that a little bit on the next boss. But there's my Explosive Surge again, and then I'm going to do a Pulse Cannon, just a little nice conal AoE to wipe out some guys.
Yeah, one of the things I have to say about the healer, specifically the Sage, is he has a beautiful ability called Force Shield, where you can put it on just about everybody, and while it's on them, you can turn around and heal up anybody else whose life has been diminished in any way. It allows you to basically not worry about them taking any damage for around 10 seconds.
So as you can see in that group, I had a little bit of fun with Kazor. We tend to have some fun with Jedi Knights in my groups. Since I'm a tank, I have the harpoon cable, which sucks the guy back to me. So the Jedi Knight jumps in to close the range, gets there, and then I usually end up harpooning a guy back to me and pulling him out. He ends up just standing there for a second, scratching his head while everyone else wails on the guy, which can be greatly enjoyable if you have a Jedi that is, a good guy and laughing along with the rest of the group. But here is the next boss. He has 5 adds with him starting out of the back. The one in the very front of him that he's looking at right now is a shaman. He will heal up the group if you let him, so it's a good idea for the DPS to take him out first. As you can see, we all just went off on him right there. Other than that, it's good just to have the DPS take out the adds right off the bat before they start on the boss. This gives your tank time to pick up aggro on the boss as well as the other adds. As you can see, I sucked him in, was told that someone else was being beat on, and then just went after the boss. He has basically 3 abilities. One is a add summon, which you're going to see in just a second here. The next would be a knockback claw swipe. There's the adds, there's the knockback claw swipe. So as you can see, my Explosive Surge works really good for picking up the adds right away. And then he has a frontal conal AoE stun. So all of his abilities are in front of him, so as long as you stand to the left or the right or behind him, you're not going to be stunned, and that's the main thing to worry about with a lot of bosses, is don't be in front of them, like Kazor is.
One of the specific things about this battle is, as a healer, I really only had to worry about his swipe ability. That frontal swipe ability can do a tremendous amount of damage if you were not shielded and had Force Shelter on you. But as you can see, I tried to keep that up the entire fight. He didn't lose that much life. I continued to do the fight pretty much as a DPS.
And Oakley, you're over there using the rocks?
Yeah, there's 6 rocks positioned 3 on either side, and those just work out great for natural cover. And if I find that he gets, face towards me, I could just move around to the other side and take cover on the other rocks, but I didn't have to do that for this fight.
So as you can see, it's not a very difficult boss, but it does provide you with a little bit of a challenge since as a tank you're being knocked around. I did try to tank him against the wall so that when I got knocked around I wouldn't go very far, but I found myself being knocked up into the wall or against the wall in a direction I didn't want to go, and then the adds would come out almost right away, and I'd be running to try to pick up the adds. I found if I pulled them out more towards the center and let them knock me back towards the door, that I could just pick up the adds and they came out almost right after the knockback usually. And just pick them up right away with Explosive Surge like you see me do a few times during that video.